NFL Europa is underway for 2007. This afternoon, things start in northern Germany. A beautiful afternoon for football. There's Vondelhall, the central train terminal in downtown Hamburg, where today the 2007 NFL Europa season gets underway as the Cologne Centurions open their campaign on the road against the Hamburg Sea Devils. For the third straight year, these two teams square off to begin the season. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us on NFL Network. Welcome to AOL Arena in Hamburg, Germany. For the Centurions and the Sea Devils, a chance anew after disappointing 2006 campaigns for both these teams. Chris Carlin, along with John Ritchie, the Centurions come in, led by their defense and last year's NFL Europa co-defensive MVP, Philippe Gardin.
He had a great season last year. He's coming back new and improved. He spent the entire NFL season on the Redskins practice squad.
And the Centurions offense is paced by their running game, led by two outstanding backs, Derek Ross and Antoine Carter. Derek
Ross is a big back, 225 pounds, but he's got great feet. He's been allocated here by the Chiefs. But the big surprise of training camp has been Antoine Carter. He's really quick. At 5'9", very quick, very tough to see. He's got game-breaking speed, and he's turning a lot of heads.
A new man at the helm for the Sea Devils, and that is Vince Martino, a longtime assistant of Jack Bicknell, who resigned at the end of March due to health concerns. And Martino gets his first shot as a head coach this afternoon. His offense is led by the former Denver Bronco, Quentin Griffin.
An ACL injury in 2004 sidelined Quentin, but he's back with a vengeance, attempting to regain the form he once displayed as the Broncos' starting running back. He's coming back from his knee reconstruction with no ill effects. He's healthy physically, but he's seeking to dispel questions about his ability to hold on to that football. He's been very secure with the ball during camp, and he's looking to continue that trend and impress his way back into the ranks of the NFL.
Had a terrific career at Oklahoma, giving it one more shot, and he gets his chance this afternoon. The Sea Devils won 3 in a row to end last year. The Centurions finished 4-6. They get underway for 2007, coming up next on NFL Network.
From the players, to the coaches, to the 5 Vince Lombardi trophies. Revisit all the sights and sounds of the 49ers dynasty.
Stepped up, throw, touchdown!
Available now at NFLShop.com and wherever DVDs are sold.
Heat. Enemy of engines. Enemy of heat. Pennzoil Platinum Full Synthetic with adaptive molecules that continually separate and reform to help conquer heat.
The NFL and United Way know the only cure for a natural disaster is a human response. Help the NFL and United Way rebuild communities. Find out how at unitedway.org.
Hey, these guys joined my team and lost weight.
Mike Golick, 51 pounds.
Sean Salisbury, 35 pounds.
Scott Conover, 100 pounds.
Hey, Marino, I lost 32 pounds.
Get real results with Nutrisystem for Men.
You know, my wife told me I'm not as disgusting to her as I used to be.
Call or go online now to get 4 weeks of awesome food. Plus, through this special offer, you'll also get an extra week of hearty meals free.
Burgers, pizzas, lasagna, pot roast.
Eat like a man and still lose weight.
Our secret is the breakthrough science of the glycemic advantage that separates good carbs from bad. Now carbs are no longer off limits.
Nutrisystem worked for me. Trust me, it'll work for you.
About $10 a day gets you 4 full weeks of rib-sticking meals.
Pick up the phone and lose weight.
Order our 4-week men's program and get an extra 7 breakfasts, lunches, dinners, and desserts. A full week of food and a $70 value absolutely free. So call now.
Count down the NFL's top 10s. Debate topics from around the league. Who's the best? Who's the worst? Everybody has an opinion. And here's ours. NFL's Top 10, Wednesday at 9, only on NFL Network.
The New Orleans Saints select Reggie Bush, running back, USC.
Can anybody catch him? I don't think so.
Reggie Bush dives towards the pylon. Touchdown!
I'm Eric Mangini, and you're watching NFL Network.
Welcome back to Hamburg as we get set for the Centurions and Sea Devils. Here's the new head coach of the Sea Devils, Vince Martino, with his speech a moment ago to his team.
All right, guys, a lot of hard work, good preparation. Every one of us in this room owes it to the guy standing next to him to give everything we got, and nothing more is expected out of you. All right, let's go out and play like hell. Let's go. And represent. Let's go, baby. Here we go, baby. Let's go. Hamburg on 3. 1, 2, 3. Hamburg.
So Martino gets his opportunity, certainly not the way he wanted to get it. As the longtime head coach here in NFL Europa, most career wins, Jack Bicknell, to pack it in a few weeks ago due to health concerns, but very emotional to get his chance.
Absolutely, and he was very open with us about those emotions. He said he felt he was ready for a head job, but he just never wanted to ascend to the throne in that manner. You know, his longtime friend, Jack Bicknell, going down with an illness.
Cologne won the toss. They will receive. Shane Andrus will kick off. And back deep is Tremaine Hall. And we are underway for the 2007 NFL Europa season. There's Hall with a pretty good return for Cologne to get things going all the way out to midfield. And Cologne has excellent field position to start out. Hall, a young man, has great speed and certainly got set up very well by his blocking, John.
Great blocking, but you know, he sets up his blocks well, picks his way through there. What an outstanding way to open the opener. You know, there are statistics that show when you start the ball anywhere past the 30-yard line, you've got a great chance to score.
Quentin Porter, allocated by the Houston Texans, at the helm for the Cologne offense. And on first down, the call goes for Ross. Picks up a couple of yards before he is shut down by that defense. Let's take a look at the offensive line for Cologne, and they are led up front by the center, Greg Esslinger. Last year, a 6th-round pick of the Denver Broncos, but spent the season on IR, but they've got a group up front they believe going to be very physical. The backs, Ross, the lone back of the backfield, the receivers, Toller and Bo Knight, along with Hall, and the tight end, Tony Curtis, allocated by the Dallas Cowboys. It's a 2nd down and 6 for Cologne. There's Porter to throw for the first time, and trying to get Ross on the screen, nothing there. Let's take a look at the Hamburg defense. And for Hamburg, it all starts up front with a defensive line they believe will be very physical in this NFL Europa season. And then not a DB on one side of defensive end, a guy you certainly always have to be concerned about, gets great pressure on the quarterback. The linebackers are Byron Hardman, Aiden Dirty in his 5th season in NFL Europa, and James Hargrave in the secondary. And take a look at Reed and Harden, the corners, and Sean Mayer, the leader on this Hamburg defense. It's a 3rd down for Porter and company, and it's tipped and almost intercepted. Right out of the gate, it was Hardman, the linebacker, who had a shot but couldn't find the handle.
Quentin Porter's having a rough start here. Maybe a case of the nerves setting in. He overthrew that screen pass on 2nd down, and that was not a well-advised attempt. Not the most accurate pass either. I think his receiver did fall down, but risky, Quentin.
So Joel Stellion to punt it away as Cologne goes 3 and out, and back deep is Rich Parson to return the punt, and Parson picks up a couple of yards. And we'll take a look at the Hamburg offense for the first time. They are led by the quarterback Casey Bramlett out of Wyoming, allocated by the Washington Redskins, and this is his 2nd season in NFL Europa. Played back in 2005 in Hamburg. Threw for 1,700 yards and 7 touchdowns. He's got good experience. His brother, Corey, is the quarterback for the Amsterdam Admirals here in NFL Europa, and that is the first time that brothers have been quarterbacks at the same time in NFL Europa. So a 1st down for the Sea Devils. Bramlett fires right, and it's complete as they pick up about 3.5 to 4 yards, and right out of the gate, they're starting to throw the football early in this game, as you see Philippe Gardin make the first tackle. Let's take a look at the offense for the Sea Devils. Up front, Washburn, McMahon, left to right, along with Bryzell, Steve Shulo, a lot of NFL experience at right guard, and Jeremy Parquette at right tackle. Griffin starts in the backfield. The receiver, Scott McCready, second all-time leading receiver in NFL Europa history, along with Parson and Maxwell, and the tight end, Mike Pinkert. And right out of the gate, we have to find out who jumped first. Maybe they were drawn offside. That was Jason Hall, who jumped over the line for Cologne. A referee today, Terry Brown.
Before the snap, encroachment, number 91, defense, 5-yard penalty. The reverse, the penalty will result into a first down.
Kevin Vickerson playing with the fire that sometimes he lacks. He needs to show some more consistent play out there. He's got all the skills physically.
Talked to the Centurions head coach David Duggan during the week, and he certainly has plenty of ability, but the passion needs to be there on a down-in and down-out basis, and Bramlett checking off at the line of scrimmage.
That's interesting.
Bramlett throws again, and this time Marcus Maxwell on the receiving end. Like he lost the football, but they're going to blow the play dead. Let's take a look at the Cologne defense, and it starts up front. The two tackles in the middle of that defensive line are Vickerson and Tom Johnson, both very physical in the ends. George Goss and Jason Hall. The linebackers led by Gardin, last year's co-defensive NFL Europa MVP, along with Smith and Salvi, and House and Curtis, both veterans of NFL Europa, continuity players, and we'll tell you a little bit more about that later on. Bramlett to throw on third down, and on the crossing route, it's complete for Scott McCready. We told you a few moments ago about McCready and his outstanding career in NFL Europa. This is his 6th season, and he's playing with the Sea Devils for the 3rd season.
This is exactly what Vince Martino was telling us he's looking for. You know they're in man because when a guy came in motion across, the defender came with them. Then he wants to bring Scott McCready underneath on a slant or some sort of crossing route because they can't necessarily run with him. There's going to be picks that occur when a team's playing cover one.
So the first down of the game across the 40-yard line for the Sea Devils. Bramlett throwing again. They have yet to run the football. It looked like he was crossed up with Parson, the outside receiver. Talking about McCready, in his career in NFL Europa, 182 receptions, over 2,000 yards receiving, a continuity player. He and Sean Mayer, both continuity players, stayed with this team during the offseason and spent time in Hamburg with the community.
Right, they're representatives of the team. They get out and try to, increase awareness for football. He lived in Hamburg with his wife, with his 2 twin sons. They're 4 years old. Great experience for him. Great experience just for the country, getting exposed to the game.
National player from England. Bramlett to throw. This time it's Justin Jenkins for the first down and more, but there is a flag down on the play.
I love Justin Jenkins. I played with this guy. He was in Philadelphia. I was in Philadelphia. He's got a lot of ability. He's not afraid to stick his face in there and block you, which is great. That's a rarity amongst receivers. He's got great hands. He runs great routes. I really like this guy. Hard worker.
To Mississippi State. Jenkins, John mentioned, allocated by the Eagles and spent some time with them over the last few years and in training camp last year.
You can see he just beat his man.
Here's Quentin Griffin for the first time, got running room down the sideline and shoved out of bounds just outside the 10-yard line. So on his first carry of the day, Griffin makes an impact.
That looked like the Denver Broncos blocking out there. I mean, that Broncos offensive line does a great job opening holes. This is just a counter, and he chooses not to take it back. He just basically breaks the counter outside the wrong way, and he fooled everyone. His team, the defense, he did that all on his own, folks.
And Vince Martino told us that he would prefer to try to run the ball outside to have success.
Yeah, the way this offense is set up, there's a lot of checks up at the line for Casey Bramlett. He essentially has an option. Every play comes in with 3 different variables.
But before first down, didn't like what he saw, so he calls the first Sea Devil timeout of the afternoon as Hamburg driving down the field on their opening series of the day and has looked very efficient, has moved the ball very well here in the early going as Bramlett talks things over with Vince Martino.
Getting back to what I was saying about the way these plays are called for Hamburg, they're coming in and it's like an inside zone check to an outside zone, you know. So if they're going to the weak side and there's a guy outside shoulder of the guard and a guy outside shoulder of the tackle, they'll check it from an outside zone to an inside zone. But basically their first priority is to try to get the ball outside on this Cologne defense.
NFL Europa has some different rules than the NFL. One very notable one, field goals of 50 yards or more worth an extra point, 4 points. 35-second play clock instead of 40, and no force-out exemption as well, John.
I like that. I like that. Let them play. Let them push each other around. That's what's fun about football.
And on the sideline, you can make that catch, and certainly you try to get the catch sometimes where it's forced out, but the hits there doesn't really count if you get forced out.
There you go.
So Hamburg certainly has looked sharp here in the early going on offense, and they'll try to take advantage here following the timeout. They have the ball just outside the 10-yard line, and Casey Bramlett, originally a 7th-round pick of the Bengals.
Bramlett's coming up the line here. He's reading the defense, setting his guy in motion. He's determining whether it's going to go inside zone or outside zone. In this case, it's a pass. They check all their passes as well. If it's man press one-on-one, they'll try to run those underneath crossing routes, try to isolate guys against receivers and allow for picks on that defense. If it's off and soft, they have different plays for that. Bramlett is the guy out there who's reading what the defense gives and calling the plays accordingly. And he's 4 for 5, actually 4 for 6 now, for 33 yards.
We talked to Scott McCready yesterday. He talked about the fact that you see that press coverage, your eyes light up as a receiver. You get that opportunity to really take advantage of it because more often than not, you have a chance to win the matchup. Bramlett on 2nd down. Again, this time incomplete. 2 straight incompletions after starting 4 of 5. So Bramlett struggling a little bit after some early success in this series.
Cologne is unique in this league. In NFL Europa, they are the predominant team to run press coverage. Everyone knows that they have a lot of confidence in their defensive backs.
24, defense.
The penalty.
Only half the distance to the goal. First down.
Sharon Wisham, the right corner on the opposite side of Kevin House. So right out of the gate after the incompletion, Hamburg gets a break with the penalty. If we can pick up where Wisham did it right there.
Well, once again, they're going for those crossing routes underneath. They're hoping for a pick. And basically, Jerome got a little...
Coaches use the word rub because the pick is so dangerous.
Pick is illegal. It's illegal to go for a pick, but when you call it a rub, then it's acceptable, right? But it's the same thing. They're trying to cross so the defenders run into one another. That time you had the receivers running into one another with a defender in between them. You got called for holding.
Griffin not nearly as much on his 2nd carry of the day. Nothing doing there, but it'll be 2nd down upcoming for Quentin Griffin and company.
Quentin Griffin on that play, I watched him on that play, and he hesitated once again. It's like he's thinking bounce outside. You can't do that. You have to be true to your reads as a running back. Know where the hole is, press the hole, and if there's a cutback, you only cut back once you get to the line of scrimmage. He stopped before the line of scrimmage on that play.
2nd and goal for Bramlett, batted down at the line of scrimmage. And you know, Bramlett's height, he's 6'3". You can tell right away where those big tackles up front can get their hands up. You know, he's a guy that he is going to get the ball out at a good angle, but the size up front really can do some damage. Did throw that ball a little low on trajectory as Johnson got a hand on it.
It was a little low. Tom Johnson, he's 6'2". He's got those long arms. That's what they say as a D lineman. Hey, if you can't get in there, get your hands up. Try to deflect that pass.
Johnson allocated by the Indianapolis Colts, and a big 3rd and goal here for Hamburg. Drive is stalled out after some early success. Bramlett for Jenkins down to the goal line, but didn't quite get there. And this will leave Vince Martino with an interesting decision with 8.5 to go in the 1st quarter. 4th down upcoming.
Cologne went with a 3-man front here, trying to make it confusing. They subbed a linebacker in for a D lineman. That linebacker drops to his zone, but doesn't get there quite in time.
So if you're Vince Martino here early in the game, what do you do, John? Put on the headphones.
If there are no consequences, I go for it. But there are consequences here. He's a brave man.
Lining up with a fullback in the backfield. And now they jumped up front. You can see
that's
right
what
away.
I would do. Actually, you know what? In hindsight, I would come up to the line of scrimmage and go with a hard count.
Kevin Vickerson looked like the guilty party.
Number 91, defense. Hill is half the distance to the goal. 4th down.
Second encroachment on Vickerson on this series.
Yeah, he's trying to get a jump on that ball. That helps him ever so slightly.
They had Jimmy Verdon lined up as a fullback. He is once again. He's a defensive lineman for the Sea Devils. 4th and goal. Griffin the call. Over the top and a touchdown, and it's Tony Hollings into the game for Griffin. Gets the Sea Devils on the board.
Tony Hollings. He also started in the NFL, filling in for Dominic Davis in Houston. So 2 of these backs for Hamburg have NFL starting experience. And Tony Hollings is kind of the vocal leader of that backs group.
Hollings, a supplemental draft pick, a second-round supplemental pick back in 2003, gets into the end zone with his first carry of the day. And the Sea Devils score on their first series, though the extra point is no good as Shane Andrus hits the right upright. So Hamburg takes the early lead 6-0 on a very impressive drive, going right down the field, taking time off the clock, and being very effective against this physical Cologne defense. Casey Bramlett and company on the board. Cologne back on offense when we come back.
Colts fans, your team just won Super Bowl 41. And now, direct from NFL Shop, you can own the Indianapolis Colts Championship tee, hat, and DVD. It's the official championship cap and t-shirt worn during the postgame celebration, plus the Super Bowl 41 DVD. Call 866-NFL-5959 and own a piece of Indianapolis Colts history. Call 866-NFL-5959 or visit NFLShop.com now.
I want that!
I was at my home in Pampa, Texas. For the first day, I didn't even watch it because I knew I wasn't going to be a second rounder. Jimmy Johnson had called the house and my sister answered the phone. I just remember her screaming. So I think there was 20-something other linebackers that went ahead of me, and maybe 3 that went ahead of me, like Ray Lewis, and they're still playing. So I got the best end of it.
The NFL Draft, live on NFL Network.
Get big arms, a ripped chest, and cut abs with the Perfect Push-Up. The Perfect Push-Up works with the natural rotation of your arms and shoulders to maximize results and minimize stress on your body. With the Perfect Push-Up, your hands, arms, and shoulders rotate 90 degrees, just like in a punch. All the energy of a push-up is captured and transmitted right where you want it, to the muscles. There's no wasted effort, just muscle-building movement. And as your arms rotate, you feel it work in your biceps, your triceps, your chest and abs, and your shoulders. Invented by a U.S. Navy SEAL and made with steel and a ball-bearing movement, it's the push-up perfected. So here's the deal. The Perfect Push-Up is only 2 payments of $19.95. When you order, you'll receive 2 Perfect Push-Up rotational handles, and you'll also receive the Navy SEAL-inspired Perfect Push-Up workout chart. You'll be ripped in no time. Get big fast. Call right now for the Perfect Push-Up.
Hi, I'm Tony Dungy, and you're watching the NFL Network.
An impressive opening series for the Sea Devils, and Vince Martino, the new head coach, calling the plays, brought them right down the field, and they are on the board to take the early 6-0 lead over the Centurions in the NFL Europa season opener. David Duggan, the head coach for the Cologne Centurions in his second year, a defensive-minded guy, John.
That he is. And he's showing multiple fronts out there. Even though it's the first game, he says he wants to keep it somewhat vanilla. We've already seen a multiplicity of fronts for that Cologne defense.
Hall had a terrific return last time and gets another opportunity. And not bad again as he crosses the 30. Not quite as good last time, brought it out to midfield. But the Centurion offense last time really couldn't get anything going. But you have to be impressed with what you've seen out of Hamburg's offense after a 6-minute drive capped off by Tony Hollins.
I like the lead block by Jamie Vernon. He may be a defensive end, but he got a pretty good lead block. I mean, this is completely inexcusable. A missed extra point. I don't even know what to say. It sickens me.
Shane Andrews was in last year.
Now. I'm all right.
You're feeling better?
Yeah.
That's good.
I just felt sick for that one moment there.
First call on this series goes for Ross once again, and the stout Hamburg defense shuts it down on the outside, led by Nate Adibi. And, you know, this brings me to a point with a guy like Adibi, so fast, very physical, but a lot of times when you see those guys who are great pass rushers, you want to run the football right at them, and they tried to do it there, it didn't work.
Right, he holds up against the run really well, and you know, he broke his hip, and he was placed on IR. He said he hasn't been able to do the heavy squatting or anything like that. He feels faster now more than he feels powerful, but he does have good technique. That's why he can hold up against the run.
Ross again to the outside. This time has more to work with thanks to breaking a couple of tackles, and picks up the better part of 7 yards on 2nd and 9.
That was a patient run. Patient run by Derek Ross. He bounced around in there for a little bit, used some vision, used his size to his advantage. Just kind of, you know, patient. Nice little whoop, cut back, bounce off some people. That is a solid run. He didn't actually read the initial block well. I felt like he could have kept it inside rather than bounce it. But hey, if you're going to bounce it and you gain that kind of yardage, 8 yards, hey, more power to you.
Played 7 games mostly on special teams for the Chiefs in 2006, and a bad snap trying to get away is Porter, and he will come close to picking up the first down. Looks like he got it, and that is just serendipity more than anything else for the Centurions. A happy accident, if you will.
Right. That's a heads-up play by Quentin. Just definitely a catchable snap. I think he's shaking off the butterflies so far early in this game, but good job getting that first down.
Good competition in training camp between he and Eric Meyer, who we'll see in the second quarter.
Right. Quentin Porter is the quintessential pocket passing quarterback. He's a big guy, 6'5", 230, got the strong arm.
First down of the day, and they keep it on the ground with Ross again, who breaks another tackle and bounces off one more, and he is in to Hamburg territory with another first down for Cologne.
He's like a battleship or a tank or something armored out there. I mean, did you see him breaking those arm tackles?
Ran into his own man, bounced off that.
It's almost laughable. Watch this initial. Oh, they get their hands on him, but they're not getting their bodies in front. And that's the problem. You got a guy who's 5'10", 225 pounds. That's a low center of gravity. Derek Ross is a strong back.
Another first down at the 44. And Cologne back in Hamburg territory the second time. Ross to the other side. This time can't quite get away from Lamont Reed, the corner, but he did pick up an extra 2.5, 3 yards, and Reed lost that battle, as it turned out. Looked like he had him right at the line of scrimmage.
It really did. Derek Ross chose to bounce that outside once again. I thought for sure he'd be stopped for a loss because his shoulders were turned to the sideline. His shoulders were not north and south, and that's the way he's effective. Gets his shoulders turned, but then you can't bring him down just with your arms. He squeaked out of there for a nice little game.
And he gets his first rest of the day. Effectiveness on the ground for the Centurions on this drive. Here's Carter out of the backfield with a catch, and he picks up about 4.5 more yards, leaving Cologne with a 3rd down and short, and Reed again there on the tackle. Reed allocated by the Denver Broncos at corner. Spent some time with the Cardinals and Jets as well, as we're down approaching 3.5 to go here in the first quarter, and the Centurions looking to convert their second 3rd down of this drive. Porter, a guy with terrific physical attributes, but needs to improve on his decision making. That's what David Duggan told us during the week.
Right. He does have all the tools.
On 3rd and 2, it's Carter. And again, the running game picks up the first down for the Centurions, and they have put together an impressive drive after going 3 and out on their first series.
As a weak side counter.
Sean Mayer on the stop, another one of those continuity players we told you about, and led the Sea Devils a year ago with 57 tackles. and the leader on this defense. First down just at the 32. Porter to throw. Under some pressure and goes down, loses a yard or two. Some good pressure up front by that defensive line. Aiden Dirty also the linebacker in there on the stop. McCready and Aiden Dirty actually is the other continuity player. What they are is they're players that have been on these teams in years past, and they come back and spend some time in the offseason with that community, promoting football, working for the team.
Right, they come back in October, live in the city, go out and do seminars, conferences, showing people the game of football. They're kind of ambassadors for the American game, bringing it to the German public.
Carter the call on 2nd and 11, picks up a couple. It'll be a 3rd down and long upcoming for the Centurions. And it's a great program. You talk to Kevin House and Kevin Curtis during the week of Cologne on defense. They certainly enjoyed it. They even had a television show on their website as well. And you look at guys like Aiden Dirty in his 5th season, and Scott McCready talked about he and his family living in Hamburg during the offseason. They just really genuinely sound like they enjoyed the experience.
Cross-cultural pollination. They learn the language. They kind of feel what the people feel, enjoy what the people enjoy.
Porter.
It's great for everyone.
Porter airing it out for Greg Lee on 3rd and long, but it's incomplete. Good coverage there by Mayer.
He does everything. Sean Mayer, he's a guy that when we talk to Vince Martino, he says, I'm a big Sean Mayer fan. Gets everyone lined up. He's a hard-nosed player, never out of position.
Greg Lee just couldn't find a handle. So Nick Novak spent some time with the Washington Redskins, had an interesting game against the Cowboys we'll tell you about a little bit later. You may remember, had a 47-yard game-winning field goal after he had missed a 49-yarder, but the Cowboys got hit with a penalty, and this is right from 50. Just inside 50. He's got a chance, and it is no good, just short. Didn't quite have enough in his leg to get that one home. So Cologne puts together a drive, but comes up empty on the scoreboard, and they continue to trail 6-0 as time runs down here in the first quarter. Centurions very effective on the ground on that series, but at the same time just could not convert it into points. At the end, the Hamburg Sea Devils will get another opportunity on offense when we return.
Break down the draft with exclusive Senior Bowl and Combine footage. Path to the Draft. Weeknights at 6:30 only on NFL Network.
Second offensive series of the day for the Hamburg Sea Devils. Touchdown in the first one, very effective with Casey Bramlett at the helm. He gets the shot here in the first quarter, and we'll see Rod Rutherford at quarterback in the second quarter, and then it'll be Vince Martino's decision who he'll go with in the second half, depending on how they played. But Bramlett leading that first series certainly has the upper edge with the 6-0 lead late in the first quarter. Second series of the day, and the Sea Devils clearly crossed up as Bramlett will lose 5 yards. Clifton Smith, the middle linebacker there on the stop for the Centurions, and just a couple of weeks away to the NFL Draft. And of course, you can catch all of the coverage right here on NFL Network, April 28th and 29th. 2 weeks from today, it all begins. An exciting time of year. Sea Devils have 10 former NFL draft picks on their roster.
Teo Johnson, the 63rd pick of the draft, out of Stanford by the Raiders.
Sound familiar?
Identical. That was my exact scenario. But he is still playing and looking good, and I am old and overweight. And there he is with the catch.
Teo Johnson, as if
tied it right in for us.
As if he had a headset in his helmet listening. Gets the catch and picks up the yardage as Casey Bramlett has another completion. Teo Johnson, a very physical tight end, 263 pounds, and out of Stanford, as John mentioned, as he was.
He played wide receiver at Stanford.
Made the transition to tight end, and that'll do it for the first quarter. A big 3rd down and 4 for the Hamburg Sea Devils coming up in just a moment as we'll begin the second quarter. But they have looked impressive on offense. They have moved the football, and they have a 6-0 lead over Cologne in the opener of the NFL Europa season.
FX has the movies. FX has the movies.
NFX Network premiere.
FX has the movies.
What you're going to see will shock you beyond belief.
Has the movies. FX has the movies.
Godzilla, Monday at 7, only on FX.
Has the movies.
All across the country, fans have made NFL Network one of the fastest-growing networks in television history. So when you want access to the National Football League, connect to the place where football season never ends.
NFL Total Access covers the league with 32 team cams.
Like Rams cam, or Steelers cam,
Colts cam.
Let me see. Ravens cam, Raiders cam, Niners cam.
Who else?
The casts fly farther. The strikes hit harder. The fish get bigger. The smiles stretch wider when you're using the right gear. Cabela's, the world's foremost outfitter. Quality, selection, satisfaction guaranteed. Call us toll-free, shop online, or visit one of our many retail stores.
Is it true, Bob, that you flagrantly endorse great movies on Stars?
Honk if you love movies on Stars!
Yes, it's true. And now these movies are free.
Order!
It's the Stars Free Preview Weekend, April 19th through the 22nd.
Objection! 4 days of hit movies?
Overruled.
Including the Stars exclusive early premiere of Monster House. You know what I'm talking about. The Stars Free Preview Weekend, channels 520 through 533, only from DirecTV.
NFL Network, football 24/7.
The fans in Hamburg excited for the start of the 2007 season, and they have not been disappointed by their team. Out to a 6-0 lead with the football for the second time today. Looking to add to that lead, Chris Carlin along with John Ritchie at AOL Arena in Hamburg. And the Sea Devils, as you can see, have been impressive in moving the football early. Casey Bramlett to throw to open the second quarter. And again complete, this time for the first down as he hits Scott McCready, the national player from the UK.
Good job on defense that time by Cologne. They brought a blitz. They had Philippe Gardin out in the slot, backed up, though, by a safety. You always know when a guy's backed up by someone, he's not going to be covering. He came off the edge. They got the ball out in time, but it's a good job underneath by everyone else, picking up the slack, picking up guys in coverage.
And that's a role that Gardin really enjoys, coming off the edge.
He loves blitzing.
First down, and it's Hollings with his second carry of the day. The first one went for a touchdown, but this one picks up a couple of yards. Second down and long upcoming, and the strong safety Chris Reese out of Georgia Tech, allocated by the New Orleans Saints on the stop. Tony Hollings, second running back into the game today for Hamburg. Quentin Griffin got the start, and Rod Rutherford is onto the field to take the helmet quarterback for the Sea Devils.
Rod Rutherford out of Pitt. He's a very athletic quarterback, very, very vocal, and he's not in quite yet.
Well, he'll come in on the next drive. We expected to see him in the second quarter, and Bramlett hits McCready for the first down. McCready very, very active in the early going, and last year against Cologne on April the 23rd, he had 6 catches for 138 yards against Cologne. So certainly he enjoys seeing the Centurions on the other side of the ball.
Yeah, he's had a lot of success against that press coverage. Takes it as a challenge, runs precise routes, and catches everything thrown his way. I really like this guy. Anyone who watches football likes this guy.
Bramlett for Hollings, and Hollings had a hole, but just got tripped up at the line of scrimmage.
Johnny Blade got him.
Bursted for a big play.
It was Johnny Blade. Got to pick up your feet, buddy. Tony Hollings got tripped up just by a little skosh.
Johnny Blade?
Johnny Blade, the grass.
I got to say, I've never heard that
before. It's the grass, Johnny Blade. Got him. You got to pick up the feet when you're coming through that line of scrimmage. There's always some junk, and then beneath the junk, there is Johnny Blade.
I tell you, we have spent about 3 hours together today. I have learned 4 new things in 3 hours. It is amazing.
Wow.
And 2 during the broadcast.
Good.
Bramlett to throw on 2nd and 7. Again, McCready. And this will be about 3 yards short of the first down with Curtis, the free safety, on the stop. Vince Martino calling the plays. Let's take a listen.
Try to get cross again.
He's expecting man press once again, trying to get a crossing route underneath. 3rd and 3. He's going to put the ball up. It looked like McCready came out, though. He was signaling to the sideline to come out, so their go-to guy is out. See if they have success nonetheless.
So Bramlett will get an opportunity on 3rd and 3 to look for it again. But he hits the pressure and really having trouble getting away, and Tyler King wraps him up for the sack. Tyler King out of the University of Connecticut. Spent some time with the Arizona Cardinals. His father played for the Patriots, but he picks up his first sack of the season. 19 sacks at UConn in his career.
Impressive. Looked like none of the rubs took that time. Everyone man-to-man underneath, stayed with their guy. They didn't switch it off or anything, stayed with their guy and ran with them. Good speed shown by the Cologne Centurions on defense that time.
Here is Shane Andrus for a 51-yarder. It'll be worth 4 points if he makes it. Missed an extra point earlier, and this is missed badly to the right for Andrus. He has had a tough day to start the opener for the 2007 season. So Andrus cannot extend the Hamburg lead. The Sea Devils move the football again, but come up empty on this drive. So the Centurions get a chance to get back on the board, trailing 6-0.
Pressure. Enemy of engines. Enemy of pressure. Pennzoil Platinum Full Synthetic with adaptive molecules that continually join forces to help conquer pressure.
I want aces dead.
I'm going down.
I bet you are.
Smokin' Aces on DVD and HD DVD Tuesday.
When it comes to going bald, you now have a choice. Advances in medical science have resulted in the world's first and only permanent solution to hair loss.
It is your real hair. It's your natural hair. You wash it, you cut it, you swim with it.
Bosley is the world's most experienced hair restoration experts, having pioneered virtually every major advancement in the art and science of hair restoration.
I'm very satisfied, very happy with what I've done. This has got to be one of the best decisions I've made in my life, I'll tell you that.
Bosley Hair Restoration is a relatively simple outpatient procedure. The results look completely natural, and it's affordable on nearly any budget. Call the toll-free number now to receive your free, no-obligation information kit that will help you decide if hair restoration at Bosley is right for you. You don't have to accept going bald. Do something about it right now.
Call 1-800-927-6091. That's 1-800-927-6091. Call now.
Some actions of National Football League players touch the lives of millions of people in a single instant. But sometimes their actions touch the lives of a slightly smaller crowd. The National Football League salutes all of its players who make a difference in the community. And we're proud to honor this year's Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year Award recipients, LaDainian Tomlinson and Drew Brees.
Cologne Centurions gets their 3rd shot on offense this afternoon, 0 for 2 as far as their first 2 drives of the day in the first quarter. And a new quarterback in, Eric Meyer, out of Eastern Washington University. And we'll talk about him, an interesting player throughout his career. And Derek Ross on the carry to bring it into Hamburg territory and continues to churn out the extra yardage, carrying defenders with him, but lost the football. It went out of bounds. It'll remain Cologne ball.
That was an amazing run right there. Eric Meyer comes in, really provides a spark on that handoff. because Derek Ross was running like nothing could stop him. I mean, granted, it's a huge hole, but these guys are trying to tackle him way too high. His center of gravity is such that you got to take him low, knees or lower. He'll just carry you for 15, 20 yards. An impressive run by Derek Ross.
So Ross gets a breather as Carter's back in and picks up 3.5, 4 yards. But I will say this for Ross, a couple of times I've seen him run into his own man. But getting back to Meyer for a moment, here's a young man, spent some time in training camp with the Bengals last year. But his head coach, David Duggan, told us during the week that he really just needs an opportunity. He's a guy that's a good leader on the field, a former Walter Payton Award winner. That's the top player in Division I AA at Eastern Washington.
Right, Coach Duggan feels like he's a real gamer. He just needs a chance out there. He performed very well in their scrimmages. He was the guy showing all the stats in the scrimmages, and he's shorter, has a lower release, so sometimes teams don't tend to give him a chance.
Burl Toller on the end around for the first down as John Walker, the free safety, makes the stop for Hamburg, but a little trickery. But we do have a flag on the play. Let's see if this will come back on a hold.
88 is covered up. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Legal formation. The tight end Bobby Blizzard was covered up on the outside. Normally a play like that, you might see a hold when they bring it back.
Yeah, especially on the perimeter.
And that's just a kind of a mistake that you're trying to make an impact and impression you can't make in this kind of situation where you have a play go for 10, 12 yards and you're just lined up wrong, and that costs you.
Yeah, that's rough. But you know, once again, it's the early season blues. First game of the year. These guys are just getting used to working together, getting used to the playbook.
Meyer to throw. The screen for Carter. Across the 35 and down to the 32-yard line. So it'll be a third down upcoming for Cologne.
Cologne was awarded 4 points for effort, apparently. This was a great effort by Antoine Carter. Nicely set up screen. He did a nice job of sticking his foot in the ground and getting north-south. He didn't try to take it outside.
But Carter a little banged up on the play as the trainers for Cologne tend to him on the sideline. Third down and called, about 6 upcoming. Meyer to throw. Deep over the middle, and a first down and more for Toller inside the 10. Burl Toller with the big reception, fighting for the football with Trent Bray, the linebacker.
That's a great job. Great job, Burl Toller, of holding on to that ball. If in doubt, if it's a jump ball like in basketball, it's always given to the offensive player. But hey, look at this throw. That needle is threaded right there. I don't know if I would have tried to make that throw. Obviously, Eric Meyer has a lot of confidence in his arm. Wow, they're just preying on the linebacker. Trent Bray is trying to stay with the wideout. Burt Toller uses his speed to just get that little edge in strong hands, catching that ball.
Ross on first down, not much, a couple. You see Meyer make a throw like that, and when we talked to David Duggan, the head coach of the Centurions during the week, he said he may not have the best physical attributes, but he's a good decision maker. Right. That play looked like he has the physical attributes.
Well, he was an outstanding pitcher. You know, he pitched as a fastball specialist. He said, I was going to throw that ball and just as hard as I could and figure you weren't going to hit it. So that was a fastball right in the strike zone. On that toss to Toller there.
Was drafted by the Cincinnati Reds and the San Francisco Giants twice and spent some time in instructional league with the Giants last year.
Right. He hadn't played since high school, and then all of a sudden, hey.
And he'll take it himself, and he's got Cologne on the scoreboard. Touchdown, Centurions. Eric Meyer saw nothing in the pass game on the right side, and then saw nothing but daylight on the left and is in for the score.
That's a heads-up play. That's a heads-up play by Eric Meyer. He showed me a lot on that drive. Showed me that precision arm. Had the great handoff to open the drive to Derek Ross. I like what I saw there. And great decision to pull it down and run with it.
So Meyer is into the end zone, as the Centurions are as well, and Nick Novak will attempt to give them the lead, and he does just that as Cologne takes a 7-6 advantage over the Hamburg Sea Devils midway through the second quarter. Struggled on offense early in this game, but the Centurions get on the board with a touchdown run by Meyer to get them the lead in the early going.
Imagine getting a 4-star hotel at a 2-star price. You can at Hotwire.com. How do we do it? When 3- and 4-star hotels have unsold rooms, they use Hotwire to fill them, so you get them at prices lower than any other travel site, guaranteed. Like 4 stars in San Francisco, Travelocity price $219, Hotwire price just $102. Why risk paying more when Hotwire gets you unsold rooms at deep discounts? Save big at Hotwire.com. 4-star hotels, 2-star prices.
HOTWIRE, Hotwire.com.
When the IRS levied my business and personal accounts, I didn't know where to turn. My CPA recommended American Tax Relief.
If you owe over $10,000 to the IRS or state, call American Tax Relief for a free consultation.
Look, the IRS is offering you a one-time opportunity to settle your debt. This is your 1 second chance. Use it well.
I thought I was going to lose my business, but American Tax Relief got me a second chance.
Call 800-493-8114 for your free consultation.
Your smile says that you're happy, confident. But if you're uncomfortable with your teeth, your smile could be saying just the opposite. Fortunately, there's Invisalign, the clear alternative to braces that's comfortable and removable for eating and brushing. Straighten your teeth little by little until a new smile emerges. Join the millions at Invisalign.com and arrange a free, no-obligation consultation with an experienced Invisalign provider. And let the world see the real you. Invisalign. Learn how to smile again.
I'm Romeo Cornell, and you're watching NFL Network.
New quarterback, new result for Cologne as Eric Meyer leads them on the 59-yard drive that took 3 minutes and 46 seconds, and he caps it off with a scoring run of his own to get Cologne on the board, and they take the lead. Rich Parson back deep to return the Nick Novak kickoff. We expect to see Rod Rutherford at quarterback for the Sea Devils on this upcoming series. And on the return, Josh Davis across the 25-yard line. And check that, it was actually Quentin Griffin they sent back in the return game, which is something that they talked about during the week. And here is Rod Rutherford. Big guy, left-handed quarterback, good size, very tough to bring down, but needs to mature a little bit. Spent time with the Panthers and the Steelers as well.
He is a guy that the team really rallies around because he's a vocal leader. They really like this guy.
He's under center, Karl-Johan Blumvall, and it looked like Hamburg jumped up front. The two guards maybe looked like they got a little bit of a head start on the play.
That's part of what's tough about rolling quarterbacks in there. Every quarterback, even though you're told to have the same cadence,
number 69, offense.
It's slightly off.
5-yard penalty, still first down.
No, one quarterback comes in, down, set, blue 82. Another guy comes in, down, set, blue 82. You know, it's a little bit different.
How long does it take to get used to that?
Well, you got to roll with it in practice. These guys are practicing with both quarterbacks, but if you're a lineman, you're down, you're looking at the guy across from you. Sometimes it doesn't register.
Rutherford play fakes for Jermaine Allen and completes his first pass of the day for the tight end Mike Pinkert, who was close to a first down. Pinkert out of Arizona State. It's Martino.
Twins left, Lee hit double slant.
Oh, twins left, Lee hit double slant. Sounds like we're going to have twins, and they're both running slants.
And they're both going to be on the left?
Yes, two people running slants from the left.
2nd and 5 upcoming. Rutherford, we expect to throw on second down after hearing Coach Martino's call. Will do just that on the quick slant. And it is a first down to Josh Davis across the 40-yard line. Rutherford with a terrific career at Pittsburgh. His senior year threw for over 3,600 yards and has the second most career passing yards in school history. But his senior year was very special. 37 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. That was a rating of 157.
Incredible.
very difficult to bring down in the backfield because he has that good size, but up above as well. A lot of it in his chest. Checking off at the line, Jermaine Allen in the game, the national player from England in the backfield, slips and falls, and everybody's discombobulated on that play as Rutherford's lucky to pick up a few yards.
Right there, Hamburg.
Green 5, green 5, green 5.
All right, Coach, what does that mean?
Green 5, I don't know what that means. But on that last play, though, Cologne came up the line. They were in a bear defense, meaning the center and both guards were covered. Hamburg's check for that is a weak side option, which they just ran. And basically, Philippe Gardin is coming off the end of line, blitzing, and that gives the quarterback a chance to turn it up inside.
And you say bear defense. It's called that because it's the 46 defense.
The 46 made famous by the 1985 Chicago Bears.
Rutherford to throw on 2nd and 6, slipping around a little bit in the backfield, and it's intercepted, picked off by Jerron Wisham, who will take it down the sideline and bring it in close inside the 10-yard line. Wisham gets tackled by Rutherford, but the Vikings allocated defensive back out of Louisiana Tech has his first pick of the 2007 NFL Europa season. Right off the hands of Scott McCready, just thrown high by Rutherford.
Yeah, that's tough for a quarterback to throw a pick when it's tipped. He's angry, throws that pick. He's angry at himself. He's angry that the ball was tipped. Goes and takes it out on the guy that just stole from him.
And right out of the gate will be Cologne getting an opportunity in the red zone as Ross changes fields to the 5, and he's in for the Cologne score. The Centurions capitalize immediately on their first turnover of the day, and Derek Ross continues to churn out the yardage on the ground. Cologne extends their lead with a chance to make it an 8-point lead in just a moment with Nick Novak. 17-yard scoring run for Derek Ross. Nate Adibi is down, the defensive end for Hamburg, an outstanding player. Looks like he's having trouble with his left leg at the moment.
Looks like he might have pulled his hamstring. Pulled up lame coming off the side of the field there. This is just Derek Ross making something out of nothing. Really, this is just a crazy cutback.
And you can see where Adibi's trying to chase him down, and he pulled that hamstring right on the right leg.
Pulled his hammy. You know what that is? That's a change of field. You know, it's a turnover by Hamburg. Their defense is sitting on the sideline resting. All of a sudden, whoa, we got to get back in there. Maybe not properly warmed up, not ready to go. That's a devastating blow if Nate Adibi cannot come back.
And what a day for Derek Ross so far. 9 carries, 74 yards, including that 17-yard scoring run to extend the Cologne lead. And we have a minor stoppage here before Nick Novak's extra point as they continue to work on Adibi on the sideline.
Well, I think that's pretty, that run by Derek Ross, you have to look at that as being pretty special because he's a guy who has proven that he is almost untackleable with just an arm tackle. He's broken tackle after tackle, knocked his own guys down, knocked the other team down, and all of a sudden, here's this same big guy, 225 pounds, changing fields, going out there pulling the Barry Sanders, going from, you know, the strong side the whole way back underneath to the weak side and outrunning a defense to the corner. I think that says a lot about the talent that the Chiefs see in Derek Ross.
Adibi limping off, and this is certainly not a good sign for the Sea Devils because he is certainly one of the guys on the defensive line that they rely on, and somebody that just gets pressure on the quarterback constantly. You know, throughout the scrimmages in training camp that they hold down in Tampa, Florida, it seemed like every story I read about him performing in these scrimmages had a sack in every one of them. Got great pressure on.
Yeah, he's a special player. The Titans like him a lot. He's struggled. He was on the PUP list when he was performing in the NFL. He had a shoulder injury on the PUP list, then came back and broke his hip that same season. He's had some injury issues, but now he feels like those are behind him.
But you know what kind of player he is? Quentin Porter told us this week when he was at Boston College dealing with a DB at Virginia Tech, they always made sure to have a back chip on him on the outside to help block him.
Right. Great defensive ends are tough to come by, and that's the way you deal with a great defensive end. You got to have a back offset to that side if you're passing. You know, if you're in two backs, it's easier because you can have a fullback, you know, helping out your offensive tackle. But yeah, when we talked to Quentin, he said his left tackle went to the Bucks. He's playing at Tampa Bay now, and he needed help. But once again, as I was saying, Derrick Ross, great speed. I see so much in this player that is rare.
And you see Ross churning out the yardage, but you see his backup, Antoine Carter, struggling as well. His potent running game now down to one main guy in Derrick Ross because Carter injured his left knee. He may not return this afternoon.
Yeah, that was on that screen pass. I remember seeing him planting his foot and getting upfield, and it looked like he planted kind of awkwardly. Let's hope his knee's all right. That's always scary when you see the ice on a knee.
Ross is the only other listed running back for Cologne, so he'll have to carry the load this afternoon. Griffin on the return. This time has a hole. Griffin across midfield and gets Hamburg. Excellent field position to the 41 on a terrific return by Quentin Griffin. Just set up nicely by his blockers once again.
Absolutely. Great open field blocking. That is not easy to do. His entire mini wedge of three men, they kind of dispersed and all locked onto their guy, allowing him to be up at the 40, 50-yard line before he was even touched.
The DB on the sideline being tended to. As you can see, they're working on that right hamstring. And that would be a serious blow to the Hamburg defense. Rutherford on the play fake. And the quarterback draw. Has the first down and picks up 13 inside the 30-yard line. That's a little underrated aspect of his game. He is very fast for a big man at quarterback.
He is big, and you can see he's got that quickness too. Little play fake, boom, right outside before anyone knows what hit him. Great athlete.
Rod Rutherford taking over for Casey Bramlett, who saw action in the first quarter and early here in the second. As the Sea Devils inside the 30, slipping in the backfield and goes down. There's Philippe Gardin leading the way, along with Tyler King once again in the backfield.
Tyler King's having a great day. Philippe doing what he loves the most. Coming off that edge. Wow. And that's a powerful play right there. Philippe Gardin, he basically was ISO'd on Quentin Griffin. Quentin Griffin's about 5'7", 195. Philippe uses his hand and just shocks him back right into the quarterback. Makes a big play and a sack.
Gardin grew up in the French Alps. Went to school in Marseille, the south of France. Doesn't sound like too bad of a life to lead. Rutherford under pressure again. And again can't get away.
Wow. And that is incredible. The Cologne was in a three-man front. It's second and long. They're in a three-man front, rushing three guys. You know, maybe bringing a spy type linebacker. See that, three guys.
First one there was King to slow him down, but then he was finished off by Craig Coble and the defensive tackle McKinley Boykin. Both there. Coble, out of South Florida, was teammates with Scott McCready, the receiver, and Scott said yesterday he might try to get a shot on him today at some point. Rutherford to throw, airing it out down the sideline and just overthrew Josh Davis. So the Sea Devils, after a terrific return and a 13-yard pickup on a run by Rutherford, have seen their drive stall out because of a couple of sacks and an incompletion.
And I think those plays, that defensive stand right there, if you can call it that, that's a great testament to the creativity of John Lyons as defensive coordinator, David Duggan as a past defensive coordinator and head coach. They threw a lot of things out there at Hamburg there.
Adam Anderson to punt, and the fair catch called for by Tremaine Hall at the 14-yard line for Cologne with just under 3.5 minutes to go in the first half. The Centurions with a 14-6 lead on the road as they'll get another opportunity on offense with Eric Meyer at quarterback.
I need to explain what I mean by Cologne throwing so much out there.
Plenty of NFL Europa next week as Rhein travels to Amsterdam, and Frankfurt will take on Cologne. Berlin will host Hamburg. Next weekend, you see the schedule here on NFL Network, and terrific action as you get a chance to see some of these younger players getting an opportunity to play, experience a new culture as well. Eric Meyer continues at quarterback for Cologne, and it's Ross again continuing to dominate on the ground, and Ross has another first down.
Wow.
Sean Mayer on the stop, among others.
This Cologne offensive line, they're just having their way with the Hamburg defense. And I think a big part of it, like I was saying, Cologne's defense is being very multiple. They're showing 3 down, 4 down, sometimes 5 down, 6 down linemen. The blocking assignments change for every play. Now, when Cologne is on offense, the Hamburg Sea Devils are lining up with 4 down linemen, 3 linebackers every play, each and every play. So they know what to expect.
Meyer airing it out, and a completion to Christian Malm. The former Sea Devil has it in Hamburg territory. And I'll tell you what, after a slow start, the Centurion offense is lighting it up here in the second quarter.
I'll tell you what, I'm really impressed with Eric Meyer. Little play action, but he looks so secure back there. He's great with timing, very accurate. When you talk to him about his career in college, he said, I would just try to put the ball where my receivers could catch it. When a guy says that, you know he has a great command of where to place the ball.
Ross gets the call on first down at the 40. Churning forward, not much this time, a yard or so. And the update on Nathaniel Adibi, he is not expected to return this afternoon, and that is a big blow. You see a moment ago as Meyer had plenty of time to throw the football. 2-minute warning in Hamburg. The Centurions with an 8-point lead, looking to add to it.
Here are the words the New York Times uses to describe Smokin' Aces. Blam, blam, blam. Expletive, expletive, plot twist, FBI, expletive, blam, blam, blam. Roll credits. Smokin' Aces on DVD and HD DVD Tuesday.
Heat. Enemy of engines. Enemy of heat. Pennzoil Platinum Full Synthetic with adaptive molecules that continually separate and reform to help conquer heat.
Would you like to double, triple, or even quadruple your income and eliminate your credit card debt?
I make $5,000 a month in residual income.
Income is at a 6-figure income. I'll be making over $8,000 a month this month.
Our first month, we made over $3,000 right out of the gate.
Thousands of people are getting started by requesting a free DVD that shows them the way to financial freedom. Like Trina, a soccer mom who started her home-based business part-time and with the help of a mentor made $30,000 the first year and $130,000 the next. Or Brandy, who has now become financially secure and is living the American dream.
The free DVD really opened my eyes.
We made over $18,000 last month.
And there's no experience necessary. Our DVD shows how a mentor works with you to assure your success.
Go to 6makethemoney.com and get started today. And respond now while this is still a free service. Go to 6makethemoney.com. That's 6makethemoney.com. 6makethemoney.com.
67 was a very, very tough year for Coach Lombardi, and you can literally see him age as the months pass.
America's Game.
I'm Matt Smith, and this is NFL Network Now. While attending a boxing event in Tunica, Mississippi, Pac-Man Jones made clear his intentions to appeal the year-long suspension handed down Monday by NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell. Jones, who's had a number of legal transgressions since being drafted by the Titans, spoke to an ESPN reporter Friday night saying, quote, "For the most part, I think it was a little bit harsh. I expected the suspension, but for a whole year, for a guy that hasn't been charged with nothing, I really didn't agree with it. But for the most part, I'm taking it like a man. I'm going to appeal it, and we'll see what the future brings. Clearly, I'm made to be the poster boy." The outlook on Dante Culpepper's future in South Florida isn't clear or bright. According to the Sun Sentinel, head coach Cam Cameron has said if Culpepper is healthy, he'll have a place there, but he's a work in progress. However, Culpepper is in Miami, rehabbing that injured knee and moving forward as though he will be a member of the Dolphins this upcoming season. This is NFL Network Now.
The Hamburg fans trying to beat the drum for their defense, who is really struggling at the moment, as the Centurions really have done a terrific job on offense this quarter.
Yeah, both sides of the ball. Cologne is dominant this quarter.
Ross with 86 yards on the ground and just 11 carries so far. Here's Bobby Blizzard, the tight end, with a reception and picks up 7 yards.
Noch ein alter Bekannter für die Hamburger, Bobby Blizzard. Big pass. Tight end für die Kölner diesmal.
Byron Hardman on the stop on the outside, and did a good job to get out of bounds with 1:55 to go.
Yeah, once you're under 2 minutes, that's when the 2-minute offense starts.
So if
get out of bounds when you get the ball.
If you're David Duggan here, are you playing for the field goal, or are you playing to try to capitalize as much as you can here? Playing for the field goal, in other words, take as much time as you can and not give Hamburg an opportunity before the half. What do you think?
No, I'm trying to score a touchdown. 1:55 is a long time when getting out of bounds stops the clock.
Their first charge timeout. 30-second timeout.
The Cologne sideline not looking too pleased with the fact that Meyer had to call a timeout. A little bit crossed up. I'll remind you to stay with us at halftime. Fran Charles will join us. He'll have first half statistics and highlights of the week, or of the game today, and also Fran Charles will have the headlines from the week. Pac-Man Jones and Chris Henry suspensions. Drew Bledsoe calling it a career, a terrific NFL career for Bledsoe. An international game, to say the least, and you see that Hamburg has 38 players from the United States and 4 from England, led by Scott McCready, and 2 from Mexico as well. And I think that's one of the aspects of NFL Europa that's just terrific, is that you get that international flavor.
I love it.
There's Meyer on second down. Over the middle, hits the tight end Curtis inside the 30-yard line. Hargrave on the stop, but the clock will continue to move inside the 2-minute warning.
I'm watching the way that Eric Meyer throws the ball. He knows when to put zip on it and when to take something off.
2 players from Germany for Cologne. Those 2 very helpful, and everybody getting used to the culture over there for the 40 American-born players. Ross on first down. Nothing doing this time. Last 2 plays out, Hamburg has been able to shut him down. That was Jimmy Verdon on the stop, down to 1:15. David Duggan letting the clock run down a little bit at this point.
Timeout.
They spend their timeout.
Their second charge timeout.
They have one remaining.
Timeout.
So Eric Meyer comes to the sideline to talk things over with the coaching staff, the offensive coordinator Jeff Filkowski and David Duggan as well. Talked to Filkowski yesterday about this offense, and you could tell they all very much like Meyer, but the bread and butter of this team was going to be running the football, and we've seen today why.
Yeah, that offensive line really grinds it out. They're led by that Greg Esslinger, and he was the 2005 Outland Trophy winner.
And Remington Trophy winner as well.
The Remington Trophy, too, given to the top center in all of college. I mean, the guy is a real talent. He was banged up, so he was on IR. Didn't get a chance to play last year. He's really showing his worth.
Meyer to throw. There's it right, and Curtis can't find the handle. You saw a moment ago the breakdown of the rosters and how it works with the 8 national players. National player being somebody born outside the United States who is on the roster, and on offense and defense, there must be 1 national player on the field at all times.
Strong hook. You got to hit the H, hit the H.
You hear them calling for 8 strong hook. What do you got?
Strong hook. I wonder if that's the H-back, meaning the tight end. They have 2 tight ends in the game right here. They're going to have one off the ball, and he's going to run a strong hook. They do not. H must be in the halfback.
Big 3rd and 11 for Meyer and company. The pressure coming down the sideline for Malm, but overthrew him. Reed there on the coverage, and with 1:02 to go, you would think they're out of field goal range at this point. See what Cologne opts to do, as Hamburg will get another opportunity with the football before the end of the half.
78 eligible receiver. 78 eligible. 73 is eligible receiver.
Meyer a little bit frustrated, and they'll take a shot. It is only a 48-yarder and an opportunity for Nick Novak. Kicked a game-winning 47-yarder for the Washington Redskins this past season against the Cowboys. Novak trying to hook it inside the right upright, but cannot do it. And it remains an 8-point Cologne lead. Tried to extend it, but could not get the Centurions a bigger lead going into the locker room, and decent field position now for Hamburg with 1:02 to go, with 1 minute to go now in the half.
I wonder if it's windy and swirly out there, because we're seeing some errant kicks today.
Not just errant, some badly errant kicks. These two teams, as we mentioned earlier, have opened the last 2 seasons against one another, and the Centurions have won both those games, and they've won 3 of the 4 meetings overall between these two teams. Rod Rutherford continues at quarterback from the 37, and you can't have that again. Pete McMahon jumping the left guard. Second time he's done that today.
Number 69, offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
McMahon, allocated by the Jaguars out of Iowa, has also spent time with the Raiders, the Jets, and the Cleveland Browns. Originally a 6th-round pick back in 2005 of the Raiders. You know he's got a special place in John's heart.
I miss the Raiders.
1st and 15. Rutherford not seeing much downfield, takes off. Gardent on the stop, but Rutherford picked up 4.5, 5 yards and got tangled up with Gardent, who wanted a flag, pleading his case with the officials. Down to 48 seconds. Hamburg looks like they've spent their
illegal formation.
Check that.
Number 73, offense, not on the line of scrimmage, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Let me ask you this. With a penalty, how does the right tackle not be on the line of scrimmage? That's Jeremy Parquet.
Sometimes they try to cheat back a little bit because they know in this situation the defensive end is rushing upfield fast. They'll try to cheat back, get a little head start, and the offensive line bows. You can't have the bow. They allow for a little bit of bow, but you can't have much. They crack down on it.
Can you say bow one more time?
Bow.
1st and 20, and Hamburg content to keep it on the ground with Quentin Griffin trailing by 8. Maybe they'll just let the clock run out to end the first half, down 1 score. Themselves in a 1st and long situation, and why risk it at this point? You had Rutherford throw the interception earlier on the ball that was thrown high. Now Rutherford will throw it. Griffin couldn't find the handle.
All those little dump passes seem like they're coming out a little hot and a little high for Rutherford so far.
Isn't it strange though? A 1st and 20, you run the draw, down 8. You've had Rutherford throw an interception earlier, and then on 2nd down, you throw the football.
Well, that was just a little check down. I'm not sure if that was intended to do anything other than, break up the monotony of the run game.
And now they'll keep it on the ground with Griffin. They'll let the clock run out to end the first half. It was a slow start for the Cologne Centurions offensively, as Philippe Gardin is slow to get up. Couldn't get much going with Quentin Porter at quarterback, but once we saw Eric Meyer, they started moving the football. Cologne spends their last timeout with 10 seconds to go, hoping to get some kind of return here.
We spent 13 seconds on the game clock.
And they'll reset it to 13 seconds.
You look at these guys. You look at these guys out there in the field. It looks like it's the end of game. They're dragging around out there, and that's just a byproduct of just coming out of training camp. Their legs are not fully recovered from that, and now they're thrust into this full-speed game situation. Their bodies are not prepared for this. That's why they're worn out.
Adam Anderson in his 2nd year for the Hamburg Sea Devils actually wore number 6 a year ago, but changed it to number 17 this year in honor of his special teams coach, Patrick Assume, who was a receiver in NFL Europa. Anderson had it partially blocked. It went forward to the 47-yard line. It is loose at midfield. Hamburg got a hand on it, or rather Cologne got a hand on it. And the clock expires at the end of the half, so a wild sequence to end the half. A quick look at what went down. And a great job to get a hand on it. Making the play for Cologne was one of the reserve linebackers, Martin Patterson.
I don't know why. I don't know why no one from Cologne picked that thing up and ran with it. It's a free play. Well, first of all, a Hamburg player kicked the ball, and that means the ball is down. Now he's supposed to pick it up and hand it to the ref.
Well, we'll get an explanation here from our referee. Here's Terry Brown. At least I think we will.
I think it should be. I think that Cologne should have one more chance. Player
kicks by the kicking team. Therefore, the offense will have an extended down, one extended down at the snap.
So they get one play with the clock expiring because the ball did cross the line of scrimmage as well, so it wasn't eligible to be run back at that point as far as like a normal block would go.
Right.
But Meyer and company will get a shot at least at a Hail Mary here. This will be an untimed down.
Kind of neat. Yeah.
So Meyer goes to the shotgun with the football at the 47. Just chucks it up, hoping for the absolute best, and it's intercepted by John Walker at the goal line. So that will end the first half. Cologne's offense really came to life in the second quarter after Hamburg took an early 6-0 lead in this game, and they also capitalized on a turnover as well. Stay with us. Coming up at halftime, Fran Charles will have some of the headlines around the NFL, and we'll have first half stats and highlights coming up. Cologne on top in the 2007 NFL Europa opener.
I want Aces dead.
Smokin' Aces is one wild, super kinetic ride, loaded with action, excitement, laughs. It's smoking hot.
I'm going down. I bet you are.
Smokin' Aces on DVD and HD DVD Tuesday.
FX has the movies. FX has the movies.
An FX network premiere.
FX has the movies.
What you're going to see will shock you beyond belief.
Godzilla, Monday at 7, only on FX.
Are our SUVs as much fun as our bikes?
You think you can handle it?
Can you? Introducing the all-new Suzuki XL7 midsize crossover SUV. It's going to be a great ride. Get 0% financing with no payments till July.
You know how to drive, don't you? Maybe you can give us a hand. Volunteer at UnitedWay.org.
Count down the NFL's top 10s. Debate topics from around the league. Who's the best? Who's the worst? Everybody has an opinion. And here's ours. NFL's Top 10, Wednesday at 9, only on NFL Network.
Welcome inside our NFL Network studios for our halftime report. I'm Fran Charles. We'll get you back after the game in a moment. But first, a lot of stories making headlines around the league this week, and none bigger than Tuesday's decision by Commissioner Roger Goodell, who suspended Adam Pac-Man Jones for the entire 2007 season, and Chris Henry for half that for violations of the previous code of conduct. The commissioner then sent the revised league conduct policy to all 32 clubs, from whom, quote, I look forward to your full support and cooperation. Jones gets the full year with the opportunity to apply for reinstatement after 10 games. For Jones to come back early, he must stay out of trouble with the law in the interim, as well as meet certain criteria laid out by the league, including adhering to counseling programs and the like. Jones must also be cleared of the year-old felony obstruction charge he faces in the state of Georgia and remain uncharged in the famed Las Vegas incident for which Vegas police are seeking charges. Should Jones be charged in that incident, his suspension can even be extended. As for Henry, interestingly enough, he's had 2 more convictions than Jones, but only gets half the time. Henry became notorious for being arrested 4 times in a 14-month span, leading a team that saw 9 different players arrested last year alone. If Henry stays clear of trouble with the law and meets certain criteria the league has set out for him, then Henry will not only be able to take part in training camp with the Bengals, but play during the preseason. But he's for sure sitting out 8 games once the regular season begins. The punishments were communicated to the players in a letter to each, in which Commissioner Goodell wrote, quote, "Your conduct has brought embarrassment and ridicule upon yourself, your club, and the NFL, and has damaged the reputation of players throughout the league. You've put in jeopardy an otherwise promising NFL career and have risked both your own safety and the safety of others through your off-field actions. In each of these respects, you have engaged in conduct detrimental to the NFL and failed to live up to the standards expected of NFL players. Taken as a whole, this conduct warrants significant sanction. I must emphasize to you that this is your last opportunity to salvage your NFL career. I urge you to take full advantage of the resources available to support you in that effort." Meanwhile, NFLPA giving its full support.
Not just are these actions detrimental to the individual, but they affect our game. They affect the economics of our game. You talk about major billion-dollar deals with the television networks. You talk about sponsorship deals. But then yet there's always bad press. And before I was born and before all of my colleagues in the National Football League was here, there were some great men that came before us that truly built and preserved, built the integrity of the game. And it's up to us to uphold that. It's up to us to carry that through to the next generation.
Following 14 seasons, Drew Bledsoe has called it a career. The first overall pick in the '93 draft, played on 2 Super Bowl teams with New England, and is the Patriots' all-time passing leader. Bledsoe lost his starting job to Tony Romo in Dallas last season, finishes his career with over 44,000 passing yards.
I spent a lot of time over the last few months really trying to do some soul searching and with my family and some close friends, really talked about it a lot. And I wanted to make sure that this decision was not a reaction to a tough season or reaction on an emotional level to anything, but this was a decision that was really well thought out and a decision that I was making for the right reasons. And, I felt this way for a few months now, really starting late in the season, really felt like this is the direction that I was headed, but I wanted to make sure it was right. After spending that much time with it, I know this is the right decision for me. And while there are no absolutes in life, I would say that this is final.
In Denver, Mike Shanahan received a 3-year contract extension. The 2-time Super Bowl winning head coach has been on the job in Denver since '95. Shanahan now has a contract that runs through 2011. He was entering the second-to-last year on his contract. Joey Harrington is a new NFL home with the Atlanta Falcons, where the quarterback signed a 2-year deal to back up Michael Vick. Harrington got considerable playing time in Miami a year ago after Dante Culpepper went down to injury, starting 11 games, winning 5. The 2007 schedule released. Some games of note includes Reggie Bush and Vince Young going head-to-head. Matt Schaub faces his former team in Atlanta. Ken Wisenhunt takes on his former Steelers team. The Pats and Colts square off for the 10th time since '01. And Joey Porter meets Levi Jones in the Bengals-Dolphins season finale. We're now up to date on the latest around the NFL. When we return back to NFL Europa, enjoy the rest of the game.
Colts fans, your team just won Super Bowl 41. And now, direct from NFL Shop, you can own the Indianapolis Colts Championship tee, hat, and DVD. It's the official championship cap and t-shirt worn during the post-game celebration, plus the Super Bowl 41 DVD. Call 866-NFL-5959 and own a piece of Indianapolis Colts history. Call 866-NFL-5959 or visit NFLshop.com now.
I remember thinking I was going to be somewhere, 18 to 25 in the first round, and I think each team had about 15 minutes on the clock, and it was just dragging on and on and on. Finally got the phone call from Dan Reeves, said, "Congratulations, do you want to be an Atlanta Falcon?" And I remember saying, "Well, does that mean I'm drafted?" And all the tension that I had all went out the window. I was just so ecstatic about getting drafted.
The NFL Draft, live on NFL Network.
The floor
The Gators have made history. Sports Illustrated celebrates this unprecedented event with a one-of-a-kind championship package. You'll get the official DVD featuring exciting game footage and special bonus features of one of the greatest teams ever. Plus, this limited edition hardcover commemorative book relives all 3 championships in the Year of the Gator with SI's great writing and photography. Go to SIGatorsOffer.com or call now to get both free with your paid subscription to SI. 56 issues for only $1.75 an issue. Save over 55% off the cover price. Use your credit card and you'll also get this officially licensed t-shirt designed exclusively for SI in team colors. It celebrates the incredible back-to-back championships of one of history's greatest college teams. Go to SIGatorsOffer.com or call now to get the official DVD, the commemorative book, and the t-shirt that says it all.
Call 1-800-348-4900 now or go online to SIGatorsOffer.com.
I'm Lovie Smith, and you're watching NFL Network.
The Centurions, for the 3rd straight year, looking to open the season with a win over the Hamburg Sea Devils, and they're on their way at the moment with a 14-6 lead. Off to a good start. Hamburg got the scoring started early in this game, though, with an impressive opening drive.
Tony Hollings elevates for the touchdown. Got some good blocking up front. Gets in there for the first score. All the touchdowns today have been on the ground. Here you see Eric Meyer tucking it. Very heady. Going in backside. And then play of the day, if you ask me, Derek Ross rumbling. But this time he's showing his speed as well. Beats Nate Adebe to the corner, makes Adebe pull up lane. Does it all on that one play.
Adebe will not return, but